This is going to be a conversation. It's Talking Climate YYC. So you are going to have to start talking to your neighbors in about 2 minutes. So get prepared for the idea that we're all in this together.
Why are conversations so important? There are so many things that we don't talk about, and there's reasons why, because they don't seem relevant to us, they're not that interesting, they're fundamentally boring. And we could say, well, climate change, it's all about science stuff, isn't it? And someone else is looking after it. Why do we need to talk about it? Actually, conversations are critically important, because conversations are what underpin our belief in things. Conversations are what makes things socially real. Put simply, if you're not talking about it and you're not hearing about it from people around you who you know and trust within your peer group, things don't really exist. And that's why conversations are so important.
One of the most dangerous myths we have bought into is not the myth that climate isn't changing or humans aren't responsible or that science is optional. But when it comes to climate change, I would venture that the most dangerous myth that the greatest number of us have bought into is not that the facts are optional, but rather that it doesn't matter to me.
So I would say probably the number one question I've been asked over the past 2 days is, are you for or against? Now, what does that immediately set up? It immediately sets up a conversation where either we're totally in agreement, so we're all good and there's really nothing to say, or we're completely in disagreement and we are beginning a conversation from a place that emphasizes what we least agree about.
How do we open the conversation? We find a way of getting people to talk to the people around themselves using the values and the language which will inspire people on their own terms.
Really is about how we ensure that the conversations we're having about stewarding our land, our air, and our water are conversations that make sense to everyone. It really is about having conversations about climate change that don't exclude people from the conversation, that are not alienating to people, that are not overly partisan. When we get into these conversations about the future, I think it's very important for us to root ourselves in the history of this place. I want to remind you all that we are standing here in the Nose Creek Valley on the banks of the Bow River. We're standing in a place where people have been coming since time immemorial. For millennia, people have been coming to this spot, to this place that the Blackfoot call Mokinstis, the elbow, the place where two rivers meet. They've been coming here precisely because of the land and the water. When I remind people that for the last 150 years or so, we have served in this place as a beacon of light and hope, when I remind folks that we have welcomed people from every corner of this broken earth to a place of welcome, to a place of safety, to a place of security, and above all, to a place of opportunity. I'm not reminding us of the past, I'm making a statement about who we are and how we think together about what we are building together for the future.